Good evening to everyone, and thank you for having us as part of the panel. Unfortunately, we could not have Prof, as she has excused herself due to illness, of course, and taking care of herself. My name is Nomazibulo Changa. I am it's Nomazibulo, Izibulo firstborn, and I am the founder and CEO of Ziana Group, which is a people and solutions providing company that specializes in leadership development as well as recruitment and digital solutions within the HR fraternity and profession. I am a mother of 3, and I like to mention this because I think it's important for us as women to acknowledge the roles or multiple roles that we juggle. As we are chasing careers, but to have an understanding that while we are chasing careers, we're taking care of families, we're taking care of our children, and sometimes we're taking care of cousins. So I think that's also important. I think one of my calling in life is also to give back to my communities. So about 2 years ago, I founded Ziana Foundation, which focuses on community development. Currently, since 2023, we've taken 3 students. One is in the University of Western Cape through our bursary program, which is fully funded by Ziana Group. And we just Friday, we gave out 1,500 sanitary pads to underprivileged societies in Olive and Host. Through the Ziana Foundation. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. And of course, I'm also the producer and host of Leaders in Conversation, which is a podcast platform where I interview or have a leadership sit down with C-suite leaders and leadership as entrepreneurs, just to engage in terms of what challenges have they gone through in climbing the corporate ladder or in climbing their entrepreneurial cliff. And how do they then advise young and aspiring leaders in terms of navigating the journey much better than they did. So thank you I think it's important to first give ourselves a round of applause for looking beautiful tonight. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. You look beautiful.
And I think it's also important to acknowledge Dumi, the CEO and founder of WomenCan, who made sure that we are here and dressed up. Well done, well done. We live in a society where we need these conversations because no action happens without a conversation. It starts with a conversation, then we go into the actionable items and execute in our respective professions. Welcome, Marcia Mayaba. We are going to engage on challenging the status quo. You have been introduced, but I think before we get onto the conversation, I think it's important that I give you a platform to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, just a bit of a background, because I do understand that you lost a mother at the age of 21. Then you left your BA Law studies to pursue, to take care of your 2 siblings. So you couldn't finish your qualification due to the challenges and social ills, growing up at that, and losing a mother at that tender age. So tell us a bit more about yourself, your background, and then let's get into the careers.
Okay. May I call you Noma?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Ndiyabulela kakhulu. Molweni dumelang, good evening. Riperile. Thank you for the opportunity, Dumi, my dear, and well done. I think before I even get to talking about myself and the background, I'd like to acknowledge a lady in the room. I'd like to acknowledge a lady in the room whom I believe, had it not been for her to be in the automotive industry before me, I perhaps may not have had the journey that I've had. Sis Clementine, please stand up, Mama.
Woo! Can we give a round of applause?
Well, Sis Clementine was probably the only female leader in an organization where we worked as a manager and managing a massive contract running into billions. Diabulela, Sis Clementine. Okay, yes, Marcia Nokolo Veronica Mayaba, born Orlando East, 1974, to a single mother who was a nurse and passed away through breast cancer in 1995. I then dropped out of university, like Mrs. Noma has said, and needed to find a job. And I knocked on many doors, and the only door that opened was the automotive industry. I don't particularly like it, but the industry chose me, I didn't choose it. I came in as a trainee receptionist, and I really don't like talking about myself, it becomes a bit difficult. But I came in as a trainee receptionist at one of the JSE listed companies, and only for me, 20 years later, to become the CEO of that same company. In the automotive industry, I've had many first black female moments. For a particular point in time, I think I absolutely relished being the first black female. Then it came to a point when I thought, that's actually nothing to be proud of. Because why are you validating yourself with these first black female moments? You're a female, you are competent, you are deliberate, you are a performer, you are deliberate and intentional to disrupt the automotive industry. So then I decided I am going to be a female who leads with excellence for the young ladies that come after me. So currently I am the Vice President for TransUnion South Africa, and a role that I've taken purely because, once again, there's no female representation. So I thought, why not? I like doing these things, you know. Just when people forget me, I'm like, hi.
I'm here.
I'm here. I did this there, I fixed it, I went there, I fixed it, now I'm here. So honestly, I think who Professor said, Google is there, guys. So I'm not going to sit here and really try and tell you a 27-year journey in automotive in a few minutes. So I hope I've done justice to the initial question. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. That was powerful and profound, guys. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story of a black girl. You have had an incredible journey, as you have alluded to, from a trainee receptionist to the CEO of Barloworld Motor Retail.
Yes.
What are some of the toughest challenges that you encountered in this 22 years while you were climbing the corporate ladder?
So one comes close to mind. I started in automotive in 1997. And in 2014, after all the years of working probably 10 times more than my male counterparts, working to prove a point that I can do this job, competitive to beat my male counterparts who were 99% white and Afrikaans. I pushed myself so hard. I woke up one day driving to work, and there was an engine garage on the R59. I pulled up at that garage and I phoned my managing director and I said, come and fetch this car, otherwise I'm gonna... Thank you, I'm awesome like that. I parked at the engine garage and I phoned my MD and I said, come and fetch this car, otherwise I'm gonna ram it into a wall. I had a nervous breakdown. He came with our HR director and I was taken to a facility called Akeso. And I did not realize that I was damaging myself in the process of proving that I'm a competent woman. Coming out from there, now needing to go back to work, all of a sudden, I was no longer good enough to come back as a dealer principal in this business. They offered me a manager role. a deliberate demotion simply because I got sick. I then looked at them. As women, we must also know when to leave. We must not be apologetic. I looked at them and said, thanks, but no thanks. What did they do? Prof spoke. They paid me. And I left with my dignity intact. Mamelani, guys. In 2016, when I came back after my nervous breakdown, I call it Marcia Mayaba the return. Ayi ngabuya man. Ayi ngabuya man. Ngabuya ngi-dealer principal, bangenzi franchise director, bangenzi CEO, all within 5 years. And then I said to the same people, thank you for denying me the opportunity to come back as a dealer principal, because my journey would not have been this. Until then, I tell you, thank you so much. I tell you, I was kinder to myself. I did not prove myself beyond my own health and risk. I knew that I'm good at what I do, and nobody's going to tell me any different. I'm sitting here today, and the industry says, Marcia Mayaba, and I'm very, very proud of that. So yes, that was one of the challenges.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. I think you've touched on two important factors that we should be considering, especially as women, as we are navigating our careers, navigating our families. Firstly, you spoke about mental health, which is a big issue today. So what's your stance on mental health? But before you answer that, I just want to touch on the second thing that you also spoke about, that sometimes in order for you to get to where you need to get to, you have to deny some opportunities that may be a distraction on your ultimate vision. And I think that's what you did, right? No is often associated or has a negative connotation to it. But I think it's important as women to really dig deep and understand what is it that we're chasing, right? And not chase things because we need to chase, but understand our vision, right? Understand our goals. And then all the opportunities that are lined in front of you, you have to sift them and dissect them to understand whether are they aligned to where you're going. And then that's where the no's and the yes come in. Because sometimes most no's can be a distraction to your vision, right? And also you spoke profoundly about the fact that you left corporate and then they paid you. I think I also share the same sentiment. In 2016, when I left Bidvest Steiner as an HR and transformation director, I left under those circumstances where I said, I am not going to do A, B, and C, and not because I didn't want to, but because of I was a very principled person. I am actually a principled person. So we sat around the table, we negotiated my way out, and I left with some few good, salaries to keep me going as I embarked on my entrepreneurial journey. So that is also, I think, important. So talk to me about your journey in the mental health, and how important is it for women to take care of themselves?
Thank you, Norma. And I think I alluded to it, that with the desperation of wanting to excel and perform in this male-dominated industry, sometimes you don't take time to stop, think, reflect, and just pause and understand who you are. My journey with my mental health diagnosis was a moment of truth for me. Had I not stopped, I probably would have killed myself in the process because I wanted to ram a car in the wall. I am diagnosed officially with bipolar. I'm on chronic medication every day. I am conscious of what triggers me in any and every situation. And what matters to me as a leader is when I'm leading the teams that I lead, I know the signs when mental health is a problem. So it actually empowered me to be conscious of the room and also have empathy to the people that I lead. So mental health and awareness and a consciousness is a reality. We don't hide from it, because in this day, the way we work and the environment, it is a high risk in corporate today. That is how I've navigated my mental health.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So you have broken some new grounds in your career with numerous firsts, even though we don't want to acknowledge and get to that, but with numerous firsts under your belt. What does being a trailblazer mean to you? And what does success look like to you?
So going back to 1997 when I entered automotive, I looked at myself and I really tried to understand the landscape as to where the women were. And I was a trainee receptionist. So I spent time trying to find women in automotive. And when I found them, they were at blue-collar level, not at management level. When I say to you I don't like automotive, it's because I decided that this industry needs a Marcia Mayaba. This industry needs a disruptor. This industry needs a bold, brave, black, female, LGBTQIA+. Woo! And as I climbed the ladder, I said, Noma, I am going to be the first manager here. I'm going to be the first dealer principal in South Africa, black female dealer principal in South Africa. I'm going to be the first franchise director. I'm going to be the first CEO. I'm going to be the first executive at Isuzu for department and business development. And I'm going to be the first sales vice president at TransUnion. Why? What does success look like? Success looks like, and I'm going to ask of this, the women in automotive, please stand up. Please, guys. Vivian, my beautiful wife, you're in automotive. Where are you? Where's Vivian? Oh, there she is. What does success look like? Success looks like my niece, who studied biochemistry and microbiology, who today works in the automotive industry because she says, Aunt, I want to continue what you started. Success looks like, and I'm going to stand up and acknowledge these young ladies. Success looks like me getting up, dressing up, and showing up for those young girls who are future leaders in automotive.
Thank you, Marcia, and thank you to the ladies that stood up. I think that speaks true to your leadership, right? As they often say that leadership is measured by the leaders that you produce. And I think today you've shown us that being in a space that is male-dominated, that is difficult, right? But you managed to rise and bring leaders, young leaders behind you. So I do attest, and well done on really investing in young leaders, because this is what we need. The conversations cannot end here, as Prof said. We cannot just have events over events over events saying the same things over and over. We need tangible results where people can stand on this stage and say, these are the people that I have produced, these are the people that are coming from this hand. And you did this because someone gave you an opportunity. You didn't just land in the role that you landed in. So thank you so much. Can we give her a round of applause, guys? Thank you. You spoke about the LGBT and, right?
Yes.
Which speaks to transformation and inclusivity. Yes. How important is it that in our workspaces, whether you are in a big corporate, small corporate, an entrepreneur, having 2 people in your office, how big and how important is it to embody inclusivity, and what does that look like for you?
So I was in the closet for many years. I think I came out of the closet in 2012 because I realized I had a responsibility. When we talk about leadership, when we talk about diversity, inclusion, and belonging, and you are a leader, you have to make those bold decisions. You have to be unafraid. I will take the punches, which I continue to take today, for my fellow LGBTQIA plus community to have a softer landing than I did. So I made a deliberate decision to say, whilst I was black female in 1997, let me just confuse you even more. I am now black female and LGBTQIA plus. What are you going to do? So that for me is the responsibility that I carry on my shoulders, because even today, I am the one who will go to Sipho and say to Sipho, do not worry about your feminine side. And Sipho says, are you community? And I say, yes, baby. Yeah. All of a sudden, Sipho knows that he can go, she can go and talk to Marcia Mayaba. So for me, my journey no mangoku, my story is not about Marcia and Veronica Mayaba. It stopped. It's about purpose, it's about intention, it's about more than just myself. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just two more questions to close off the conversation. What are the three key nuggets that you can leave to the women in this room to succeed in any area of their life that they wish to succeed in?
Three key nuggets. It's important to have role models. Find that person who ignites your fire, who inspires you. My role model was my mother, who was a nurse, who gave me the best she could when she was still alive. Before I went for my BA law, Mama said, ay, are we at university when, after matric, you are papa too much. Go and do a secretarial course, get a skill of some sort. And I said to her, I don't want to be a I don't want to be a secretary. She said, just go and get a skill so that you've got something to fall back on. When she died, that's the part I didn't mention. When I got that trainee receptionist job, I got it because I could type. And my mom had given me that skill. So find a role model and really, really look up to that role model. The second one, I call it having a board of directors. It's important to have your board of directors, your go-to people, friends, family, mentors, your safe space. Here is what I know, and my family knows. I do a group call at 2 a.m. because I need something. My board of directors answers a group call at 2 a.m. My aunt says, Chawe, all right? My niece says, aunt, you okay? My friend says, Gazi, ushap. My wife says, baby, it's gonna be okay. Yeah. Get your own board of directors. Last but not least, personal development in any shape or form. I'm not an academic, but I can tell you, I can run a business and make money. I'm not degree. I'm not degree. I'm not MBA. I'm not saying education is not important. What I'm saying is, sometimes you have a skill and you don't know that you have it. Give me a business today. I will fix it, I will turn it around, and I will make money for you. And I'm unapologetic about it. So last, be your true, authentic self. Not all people will like you, but it's not about being liked. My legacy, Prof spoke about, what is your mantra? My mantra, Noma, is, my legacy will be that I made it better than when I found it. And if I'm going to the top, I'm not going on my own. I'm taking people with me. I love you guys. Thank you.
I think she just ate my last question because I was going to ask, what legacy would you like to be leave behind and be remembered for? And you've just alluded to that. So thank you so much, Marcia. Thank you for the work, incredible work that you're doing, and keep flying. I think I might have met you in your about 8 years ago, but I'll remind myself. I remember everything about you, and it was also in a motor retail event. So thank you so much for sharing, and I hope that we've learned something, and I hope that it's something that some things we can take and implement. We understand that this is not a space where you can absorb everything, but if you can just take one thing out of what Marcia has said and implement it, not just write it down, because we're very good, let's be honest, to writing things down. And then we have diaries over diaries over diaries that have all our written information, but we never implement nothing. And sometimes we lose sight of the knowledge that we would have gained from implementing what was said. So please, I invite you to take one thing and ensure that you run and implement it and see how successful you could be. So thank you so much, Marcia, and thank you so much for sharing with us. Can we give Marcia a round of applause, guys? Thank you.
I want to say something quickly. Ndiabulela Noma. Thank you to me once again. I want to say something quickly. Okay, let's deal with the elephant in the room. Yes, it's me. I was on podcast with McG. Yes. And out of 60 million South Africans, I'm the one who sat next to the good doctor. She drank water, I drank gin, and I had the best time of my life. She was arrested a year later.
Can't remember